Good morning, day 5, and this is my view this morning. Clouds came up. It's been raining pretty consistently. Not really hard, but the wind is blowing pretty good out there, so it's not the best day to be out hiking. I know there's a lot of hikers still out on the trail, so I hope we don't see any thunderstorms or anything like that, because you're really high up on top of mountains, and when you're hiking up there, you're at a lot of risk for lightning strikes and all that kind of stuff. But this is what it's like. Looks like about maybe 100-yard visibility, maybe a little bit more than that out there. But it's beautiful, but not a lot of fun to hike in. My rain gear is a Frog Togs jacket with a hiking kilt, and then you just know your shoes are going to get wet, and the next morning you're going to get up and put your feet into wet socks and wet shoes, and hopefully it's not raining, and if it is, they'll dry out as you slog along, and you just try to take care of your feet as much as you can. So there is that. Okay, so yesterday I did a tour of Wolf Cabin. Today I'm going to do a tour of Beaver Cabin. Right by the road, not quite as nice of a view, but let's take a look inside. As you come in the door, right off to the left, you have the bedroom I'll probably stay in tonight. And then, just like in Wolf Cabin, it's going to have a nice little loft up here with a queen-size bed. So, and has somewhat a view, not quite as nice as the Wolf Cabin out of here. And then if you look down into the living room down there, you'll see that it's got a sleeper sofa again, a rocking chair, and another chair to sit into, and a fireplace just like the other cabin does. One of the really nice things about it is whoever had this before, right over here, you can see that they left their firewood, and they even laid a fire for me if I want to light the fire, so that's pretty cool. It's got a small eat-in kitchen, but it's still got the same amenities as the other one. It's got a stove and a refrigerator, microwave up there, coffee pot, toaster, a little bit smaller than the Wolf. And then, just like the Wolf, it's got a bathroom with a sink and a shower that's reasonably sized, and like I said, it's got plenty of towels if you have extra guests, so you have up to 4 people in here. And then it too has a porch, which I'm not going to go out onto because it's cold and rainy out there, and I know that sounds weird, but it's cold and rainy, but it's got a view of the woods, and you can't really see it. I mean, if you look right out here, that's the trail going up to the Neil's Gap, and if you want to go to the store. So it's just about maybe a half-mile hike up to the store from here. So that's it from here. I figure on a cold and rainy day with no hiking going on, we had some really heavy storms come through, and now there's supposed to be some thunderstorms coming through here really quick. This is probably the best thing to be doing. Y'all take care. Good afternoon. Since it's a cold and dreary day and I'm just sitting in front of a fire instead of hiking, I thought I'd talk about resupplying the Appalachian Trail. I know it's a question that I had, and I'm sure plenty of other people are going to have the exact same question. So I thought I'd go over some of the ways you get food on the Appalachian Trail. Once you leave Amicalola Falls and head out, you've got 31.3 miles until you get to Neil's Gap, where there is a store actually physically on the Appalachian Trail. Once you leave Neil's Gap heading north, it's a lot of miles before you come to the next store, and by a lot of miles I mean probably over 100 miles. So what you do is, when you come to one of these gaps, and occasionally you hear me talk about them, when you come to one of these gaps, you, at the top of a mountain, you'll call a shuttle driver, and they'll ask you, what mountain are you on? And you'll say, I'm on Blood Mountain, for example. And they'll say, okay, I'll be there at the bottom when you get there. And they know exactly how long it takes to get to the bottom of or get there from where you're at, because they make their money by shuttling you to and from town. So you pick up a shuttle driver, you go into town and you go shopping and do your thing. You might get a hotel, whatever, and then you get another shuttle driver. And usually what you want to do is have the shuttle driver you're dealing with, if you like them, you have them arrange for a pickup either the next day or later that day to bring you back. So you've got to plan ahead on how many meals, how far you can go. So one of the most important things is most people don't know how far they can go when they first get out on the trail. I do know there's a guy that's only hiking 9 miles a day right now. He says he'll pick it up later, but it's going to take him several days from here before he can even get off the trail to go to Unicoi Gap to go into Hiawassee. And then it would take him 2 more days to get to Dix Creek Gap to go into Hiawassee. My goal right now, I picked up 5 days of food because I zeroed here. I'm anxious to get back out on the trail and I want to get headed north. So I picked up 5 days of food, and my goal is to get to Franklin, Tennessee, or actually a Gap, and I'll take a shuttle into Franklin, Tennessee, and I'll resupply in Franklin. I might or might not get a hotel room and do a Nero. I don't know. It's just going to depend. You have to be flexible. For somebody like me who really likes to plan, this is a little stressful because one of the things I like to do is I like to know what I'm going to be doing in the next 2 or 3 days. That's not always possible, especially with the weather included. So Saturday, it's supposed to be much like today, and now they're saying thunderstorms are likely Saturday. So I may or may not choose to stay out on the trail. I don't know if I'm going to or not. But anyway, resupply isn't really as hard as you would think it is. You can just call a shuttle driver. White Blaze pages that you can get from whiteblaze.com. They have a lot of shuttle drivers listed. Gut Hook's app has a lot of shuttle drivers listed in there. Blood Mountain Crossing, Blood Mountain Cabins, they all have a list of shuttle drivers that you can get. So you can get the names of shuttle drivers from a lot of people. However, some of those shuttle drivers aren't insured. Some of those shuttle drivers drive some pretty sketchy vehicles. So you kind of got to be careful of what you're doing. And you see a shuttle driver you're not comfortable with, you might not want to ride with them again. But what I do is I ask some of the people. I had Trail Magic the other day. I asked one of the guy who was doing the Trail Magic, who's your favorite shuttle driver? And he told me a guy named Ron Brown. Now, I haven't used Ron. I used another guy named Mike. Great guy. He's going to take us to the trail tomorrow. Highly recommend him too. He's number 2 on the list here in Blood Mountain Cabins, the list that they have. So call them up, arrange for a shuttle. Another place you can get a shuttle is if you talk to the shopkeepers here. Most of them live in one of the towns around here. Most of them might be willing to take you to town. But here's the last thing that you need to know. It's going to cost you some money, usually, unless you hitchhike. So a shuttle from here to Hogspin Gap to Slack Pack cost us $30. So there are 3 of us, cost us $10. You can see shuttles can end up costing you a lot of money. You could actually spend more on a shuttle if you're going by yourself to get into town to resupply than actually what it's going to cost you for your food. So a good idea is if you can get a couple other people go into on a shuttle or a hotel room, you can share the costs, and it's not going to be quite as expensive to do a resupply. But if you got any questions, throw them down in the comments. I get notifications when somebody comments on my videos, and I'll try to answer when I can. Right now, don't have great cell service, don't always have great cell service, but I'll do what I can. Y'all take care.